Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's very much this time of year with this lighting is very much the norm. Hopefully this cozy warm lighting will do for now. But anyways, without boring you with too much intro and yap, let's jump straight into this topic of this video, which is confidence. Confidence is many things. It's a mindset. It's a set of actions you do over and over again. It's the perception that you have of yourself. And even at most times, it is something that is observational. So something that others can see on you. And confidence is the most impressive thing that you can wear on a night out or bring to the table or glow up with. My journey with confidence has been very much up and down like anyone else's. We aren't so different. It starts high as a kid. You're so naive to the world, and then life hits, school hits, kids your age hit, bullying hits, relationships hits, betrayal hits. Everything hits at once, and we have to go through life lessons to build it back up again. It's actually one of the most beautiful things if you think about it, where your first phase of confidence is gifted and your second phase is earned by your own actions and choices. So in my journey of building my confidence back up again, these are the 11 things that I have learned and observed over time. And this is essentially your fast track on the kind of mindset and actions that you need to take to bring your confidence back to where it always belonged. So number one, the first thing that gradually and subtly destroys your confidence is obsessively overthinking the small stuff. So processing things in a cycle that are beyond your control. How that links to confidence, it's very simple. You are literally questioning yourself. You're questioning your ability to cross that bridge when you get there. You're doubting your present self and not trusting your future one. So what happens is you invite many negative thoughts to come and consume you. Because if you haven't thought of the worst possible outcome, you feel unprepared. So you intentionally overprocess every possible bad outcome that might happen just to be prepared. Is that confidence in yourself? Or is that over-preparing out of fear? Best way to get out of this loop is to become self-aware. Become self-aware when you are over-processing, when you're over-analyzing, overthinking, consuming constant negative, anxious thoughts. The moment you realize this, you're going to be able to take a step back and view things more from a distance, from a third-person perspective. And what that does is it allows you to make a second decision that you can make from that point. So in this new moment, do you keep overthinking and catastrophizing scenarios, or do you go and finally do something productive to take your mind off it? Number two, asking for people's opinions on things that you cannot change. There might be two reasons for it. You're either genuinely curious, and even though you can't change much about the situation, you're still asking for an opinion because you just want to see how aligned your views on something are. Or two, you want to look a certain way by asking for their opinion on something that you cannot change or take back, because at least you had the decency to ask them about it, right? So say you're late to an event and you walk up to a person that you somewhat respect and they go, "Look who decided to show up," obviously indicating that you're late. And then you go and say, "I know, I'm so late. Do you think it looks really bad?" Here you are trying to please them by giving them the power to be the judge of the situation. And they instantly feel this pedestal that they've been lifted onto by you. And when they speak to you, they even look slightly downwards because you're no longer on the same platform. By your own actions, may I add. So it's so important to become more intentional with what opinions you ask for and for whose opinions you ask for. A truly confident person does not ask for pointless opinions. They don't ask for opinions on things that they cannot or do not want to change. You know when opinions matter? When you're being a conversationalist in a social setting. That's when they matter. When you're bringing people together instead of making the focus of your lackings and your weaknesses and inviting opinions about you that are nailed into the unchangeable past. Number three, scrolling without intention. In fact, we might as well go much broader and just say doing anything without intention. But in this day and age, doom scrolling is the most common way that we lose track of our purpose, of our schedule, of our plans, of our time, of our productivity. It is so consuming. There is no doubt about it. But what happens when someone scrolls the height of the Eiffel Tower, which by the way is the average length a person scrolls per day? You can search that up. What happens is you lose momentum of the day, you lose focus, and you become hypnotized. And what happens when you become hypnotized is you become so vulnerable. You start to believe everything. You believe in these unproven social media news, facts, stats. You believe in these AI videos. You believe these face-tuned, filtered photos. You compare yourself to all these influencers who look a certain way and have achieved certain things because you are no longer focused on yourself and in the present moment. You're in a brainwashing cycle. You have lost touch of your day and your responsibilities. You've lost time, you've lost energy and motivation, and by the time you're out of the trance, you realize that you've lost your confidence in your ability to focus. You think tech companies, UX designers, social media CEOs don't know what they're doing? They know very well. There's plenty of articles out there talking about this, and there's one in particular that I read, a neuroscientist say that phone screens are saturated to really bright colors because our brains evolved to be drawn to them. When you take the color out, it just kills that dopamine feeling. And they actually did a study with participants whose phone screens saturations were turned down, and their screen times went under 2 hours a day when they did that. So if you genuinely struggle with this, consider going on your general settings and turning down your saturation of the brightness brightness of all the colors on your screen and see if that makes any difference to you. I actually did this a while back and all the apps look bland. Your FYP looks so bland. When I call my parents, they look bland. So it's quite a big thing to adjust to, but overall, I did notice I spent less time on my phone because my real world became so much more colorful and vibrant and interesting in that sense. And because we are naturally drawn to such bright and vibrant colors, because back in the day, we would be attracted to bright foods like fruit and vegetable that would keep us alive. If you replace that saturation that you're so attracted to from your phone to your real life and your real surroundings, it makes your general life so much more joyful. Number 4 is having a lack of boundaries with yourself. There's so much talk out there about having boundaries with other people, but you know even what that comes down to? The boundaries that you have with yourself first. So focus on your internal ones before you even consider the external ones. Because until your internal ones are as solid as concrete, those external ones are breaking with one little blow. The way you solidify your internal boundaries is by accepting the greatest punishment that comes with betraying them, and that is a loss of self-respect. Of course, it depends on the reason it's been done, but again, there's no space for excuse, just reason. Number 5 is purposely making yourself look small in order to make the people around you feel more comfortable. The problem is, the version of ourselves that we manifest in other people comes right back hitting us in the face. Because some people can't understand humility. They take what you say at face value, and they're not wrong for it. You allow them to collect this false idea of you that you display in order to bring someone else up. But let me tell you this. A lot of people would much rather feel inspired by you and your achievements when they're naturally brought up in discussion than listen to some lowlife, someone that doesn't do anything with their time and is in just constant admiration of the other person. You know how boring that is? How uninspiring you can come across? If there's boasting and showing off on one end of the spectrum, you don't want to be doing the opposite either. Don't shy away from shining, because honestly, it is one of the most inspirational and exciting things when I see and hear about my friends achieve things, because it inspires everyone and shows people it's possible, and you can go to them for advice, you can get their support. But of course, you need to be careful with who you share this stuff with, and I would hope that your close circle is built up of those kind of people. If it's the evil eye you're concerned about, just know that no one can take away what belongs to you. Have that reassurance. Have that trust in the universe. And stop overly empathizing so hard about how one person feels if you mention that, because that's just boring, and we don't want to be boring. Number 6, confusing humble with lack of confidence. During our least confident times, we protect our self-image to ourselves by telling ourselves, I'm just being humble. I'm just shy. I'm just not a loud person. I don't like to overshare. I'm an introvert. I don't need to show off. I know my self-worth. When all your friends are calling you to the dance floor to dance with them and you say no, that's not you being humble, is it? When your boss asks the team to raise a hand if they know how to do X, Y, or Z, and you know but you don't raise your hand, are you being humble, or are you just afraid of the attention that follows? Challenge yourself. Which one is it? It might be both, but try to separate in each scenario, because maybe you're just letting yourself fall deeper into this cozy, comfortable little world where you remain small. Question your true humility and when it truly comes out. Number 7 is your usual pace and to become aware of it. This is something to this day I actually work myself on, and as soon as I realize I'm doing it, I instantly switch it up. Being in a regular state of rushing, so in your fight or flight, is firstly one of the worst things that you can be doing to your nervous system when there is no reason. And even if there is a reason, just doing better by giving yourself more time to prepare for certain situations is definitely what you should be doing. And secondly, it gives you no reason to be confident in that moment. When you're rushing because you're late or you have a million things on your mind, so you're forgetting things here and there, tell me why you would feel or look confident in these moments. You just don't. Unless you are rushing to avoid things like rush hour, understand the importance of slowing down, even just for the hundreds of benefits that it brings. Number 8, following on how we move, our body language, our posture, our arm placement, it's a massive signal to how we feel about ourselves in a scenario. With that being said though, the worst possible thing that you can do in a situation is overthink your body language. I have found myself at times in conversations having my arms crossed, looking quite distant, realizing that, putting them down to my sides, not feeling quite natural with that, putting them then on my hips, and then I just realized I end up doing this entire 70s choreo of the YMCA while trying to figure out how best to appear with my body language. Honestly, if that becomes the case, best to just leave it as it was, because at least then you are actually immersed in the conversation and have something valuable to add when things go quiet. So as important as body language and posture is, just make sure you make your decision fast and be satisfied with it, or just don't adjust in the first place. Number 9, making excuses, and more specifically, identifying the difference between an excuse and a reason. For example, you didn't go to the gym today because you didn't have time. Was it really the fact that you didn't have time, or is it that you replaced it with a non-essential activity that lasted longer than you thought it would? Stop stop overpromising and underperforming. It's a fast track to losing all self-respect. You become someone whose word means nothing. Don't put yourself in a position to make excuses, because excuses come when you replace your original plan with something of less value. If you're ever going to change the plan, make it of something of higher value or at least equal value. Number 10, avoiding discomfort is no room to grow your confidence in. Whether that's avoiding heavier weights in the gym, or avoiding strangers at parties, or avoiding being surrounded by people smarter than you, we only grow in discomfort. We grow when we feel like we are behind, not when we're at the top of the chart. So accept being bad at something, accept being made fun of for asking stupid questions, because your growth is actually much steeper than the person making fun of you. And over time, they will see. Confidence comes when you do something that doesn't feel good now, that becomes good later. Number 11, not making an effort for yourself. You are your truest version when no one is around to observe you. You have to feel your presence so strongly that your presence alone is enough for you to fear its judgment of yourself. The real test is always when no one is watching. That's how you know who the real you is. And if that image doesn't satisfy you or embarrasses you, then that's the work you need to be doing on yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see your better versions next time.